Hey everyone, welcome back to another nail-biting episode. We're the host. My name's MJ.
My name is Adam.
Today, everyone, we're going to be talking about stress.
Yeah.
So let's start it off, everyone, with what makes us stress. So Adam, what is something that stresses you out?
I think the main things are when people in general, like they're not empathetic towards either my situation or another person's situation. And that's what affects me the most. Even if it's something simple as like, holding the door open, for example. It's not something that's stressing me out, but something as simple as that would come into my mind as something that gives me a little bit of stress, even a little bit.
Okay.
Taking their time to do something when I feel like I need it right away gives me a little bit of stress. Because if I was to tell them that I need something right away and they still take their time with that thing, then, it's still like, it's not being considerate. It's not being empathetic towards my situation. So most cases I find that when I feel stressed, it's when somebody lacks empathy towards something or myself. Yeah.
Kindness,
yes.
Possible
understanding,
Yeah. So it sounds like it's pretty external.
It's pretty external,
that happen, right?
Yeah.
It's like someone does something, and that in turn kind of upsets you, gives you a little stress,
right,
takes you off a bit,
right. But for me, I feel the stress, like once it comes or enters into my system, it becomes something that I can't just forget about a lot of the times. It will be something that I think about for the whole day or for a couple hours, or I'll stop thinking about it and it'll come back a day later and I'll be like, yo, that guy not holding the door was a real jerk. Why don't people hold doors anymore? Like a day later, it's one of those things where I can't get rid of it. I can't let it go easily. And that's the part where the stress builds. And then I have like multiple interactions throughout the day that stress me out, little and big. And it just builds and comes back. Those kinds of things happen a lot.
Okay, man. So it seems like it comes from more of a getting upset.
Yeah.
Stress.
Upset,
right?
Like ticked off.
It's not example, like it's not a worrying kind of stress.
Not a worrying kind of stress. I since living in Japan, I've kind of figured out that life is too short to worry about things that we can't control a lot of the times. But I feel like things that other people can control gets me stressed. Yeah.
Okay.
Living in Japan has changed my way of handling things that I have to do and I have to just get done. Things that would normally have stressed me out and worry me a lot of the times that give me stress. Like, of course, money is one major thing right now and, in the past as well. But those things can be changed with action. So, it's a little bit of give and take in a lot of situations. Yeah. How about you?
Whoa. Dude, I don't know. Like, I was thinking about this a little bit before, and I'm not exactly sure what makes me stressed. I guess some people could say, like, that's a good thing.
Right.
But possibly I'm a very passive or very optimistic, where I don't really feel that stress impacts me so much.
Okay.
And I'm not exactly sure what it is because I look at it as like, what is stress, right? There's plenty of times where I get aggravated, upset if somebody does something, especially like driving, for example, is something that I think people can get very upset, easily aggravated about.
Right.
But I feel like one thing that I could possibly look at as stressful are deadlines.
Right.
Deadlines are my enemy.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's the one motivation that really pushes me to get stuff done.
Yeah,
so it's actually not an enemy. It's a friend.
It's a friend,
right?
Yeah.
So then I don't accept it as 100% just like stress. It's not this thing that's like looming and just terrifying. It's this thing that happens.
Yeah.
There's stress, but I deal with it every time.
Yeah.
It comes, it goes. If it is a positive or a negative, if I get it done or if I don't get it done, I feel like it doesn't like cling on to me like you're mentioning, like it sticks with you.
Right. Yeah.
For me,
not so much.
And like, I feel like not at all.
Okay.
Another thing that kind of like gives me an idea of maybe I don't really have a lot of stress is something that I've learned about in Japan, where many people, you know, when I first started working here at the company and stuff, I saw many people with this like, with a big hook type thing. I thought it was a back scratcher, but everyone just like pulling on their shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they have this like little like thing, like
I like a hammer.
dowel.
Like a hammer. Not a hammer, but like a wooden hammer.
Yeah, with like a tennis ball or something on it, smacking themselves.
Right.
The times where I'd see other coworkers, friends, like massaging each other and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's pretty
friendly.
Nice. But it was so often and so many people looking at the percentage.
Right.
And then I understood that, okay, having stiff shoulders is something that a lot of people have in Japan now. I was like, is it maybe because of like, there's a lot of bowing that happens and stuff? And then I remember seeing an article, or possibly it was like a variety show, asking about stress in people and asking Japanese people, if you feel stress, like put a star here. If you don't feel stressed, put a star here. And majority of the people that they asked, like on the street, they said, yes, I have stress.
Right.
And then they did this test overseas. I don't know exactly where it was, but it was somewhere in the Western country.
Right.
And majority of people would say, I feel no stress. Now, if that is true or exactly what the definition of stress is in the different countries, in that culture, it could be something that's different.
Yeah. I think I remember that show as well. And I remember like thinking that like, as you were saying, is it part of the culture where in North America we're like, stress? No, I don't want to get that away from me. I don't want that. Get it away. Where in Japan it's like, I mean, from the show, it's like, yeah, stress. I want more. Give it to me. You know, no stress, no life. Right? Not exactly.
Feels like yes. Yeah. They don't want it, but I see it as like, if you're stressed, that means you're working hard. If you're working hard, that means you're doing good.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the connection there. So even if you don't want it, it still happens.
Yeah.
But everyone, like, there's a lot of bad things that can come from being stressed.
Right.
It can affect the way that you think. It can affect your body. All right. So I pulled up some information just to scare everybody. Yeah, that's right. To scare you about stress, because it seems like it's not such a good thing that you want. Okay. So some things that happen to you physically, to your body, like when you're stressed, accelerated heartbeat, your heart's going to be bumping faster.
Right.
All right. It's actually not such a good thing. The opening of lungs in your airways gets greater, so there's more oxygen coming in. Okay.
Right.
Another one is the release of adrenaline in your mind, so everything's going to move a little quicker.
Right.
Widening of the pupils, so you can see things better.
Wow.
Improved vision. Lowered gastrointestinal activity, so you can run, not digest. So you're using the energy in a different way. Now, a lot of this struck me as like a fight or flight kind of time where your adrenaline takes over.
Right.
So I feel like it's not so much stress. So it was very interesting for me to read this stuff. But
it sounds like a good thing the way you're explaining, or these kind of effects of stress.
Just because a superhero.
You're becoming a super. You're getting stronger. You're able to see more clearly. Maybe you're able to think more clearly because of all the adrenaline that's being pumped into your system, right? Get things done quicker.
Yes.
Yeah, but continue. Yeah.
But here's where it turns around, everyone.
Okay.
So there are energy levels that we have in our body, and these energy levels are like, tanks of gas, like in your car, and you can run empty on them. And if you run empty of gas in your car, it's not going to run anymore.
That's true.
So the energy levels can get depleted. You could lose them all.
Yeah.
You could use them all up if you're always stressed out, because if you're always stressed, then all these things that are happening in this adrenaline phase are overworking. So then, example, if there's something that happens, you get into a car accident and you need this adrenaline,
right?
But you're always stressed all the time, maybe you're not going to have it.
Yeah. that turbo isn't going to work anymore.
Because there's no nitro in the tank. Another thing it can do is affect your heart.
Okay.
Now, I've read that stress, high levels of stress, chronic stress, meaning you're stressed all the time, can affect your arteries. So people who have chronic stress, who are stressed out all the time, can get heart attacks and strokes more than people who are not stressed.
I see.
Got that, everyone?
Yeah. Stress kills.
Stroke and heart attacks.
Yeah.
No, not 100%. It's not the only cause, but it adds to it.
I wonder though, like, because there is also, of course, good stress and in this case, bad stress. Like, does good stress cause the same negative effects? Like, for example, studying hard for a test, your brain still releases that adrenaline, your heart still pumps, you're still able to see clear. You know, all the good things that happen can result in the same consequence, the same effect, like outcome.
I'm not a doctor. We're not doctors, everybody.
Maybe doctors can answer the question.
If you're a doctor, let us know in the comments. From what I think that the stress we should be looking at is chronic. How often you're feeling stressed out.
Okay.
So I think overstressing on things is when it can be bad for you. Right? Everything in moderation.
True.
So maybe a little stress is good.
A little.
Another thing it can do is it can disrupt your sleep.
Yes.
Hey, maybe you're stressed out and you find yourself not being able to sleep well, waking up, and you're not sure why. Maybe it's because there's a little stress or a lot of stress in your mind that is keeping you awake thinking about these things. Worrying about what could happen, worrying about that thing that did happen.
Totally.
What could have happened if you changed whatever? And for some reason, the stress is keeping you awake, then not giving you a healthy amount of sleep, thus making you fatigued and tired.
And not have enough energy to be able to deal with the next day's work.
And another one that I've seen is it can really mess with your gut and just how healthy you are, your antibodies and stuff. Your white blood cells, it could make them weaker. Just having the stress, it's crazy to think about everything because stress really is a mental state. So the things that some people say, that scientists say, doctors say can help you with stress is meditation and exercise.
There you go. Seems like
why? Because it's something that helps you think of something else. Unfocus on these things that are keeping you stressed in your daily life. And meditation is definitely one of them. And a lot of people talk about exercise as a form of meditation because you're just focused on whatever it is. Even if it's like going out running where you're not, focused like 100%, like, okay, I got to do this many reps of this dumbbell of like this many weights, it's not like that.
Right.
It's just going out, zoning out possibly. As a kendama player I feel like playing kendama is a type of stress reliever or meditation for me because I am focused so much on this one thing that everything else is but imagination.
Doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't exist.
Doesn't matter. In this time right now, it doesn't matter.
Right.
That goes to another characteristic, actually, of if you are someone who gets stressed easily or not. If you are someone who is always thinking about the past and like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that. Or if you are someone who is thinking about, oh, what is going to happen next if it's bad and you have to prepare for that. That's someone who usually got a lot of stress on the mind. But on the other hand, if you are someone who is always thinking about now, today, what's happening now, what can I do now? Those are the types of people who are less stressed. So in past episodes, I believe I compared myself to a gazelle on the African savannah, just worrying about what kind of food I'm going to eat today and if I'm going to get eaten by a lion or not. I'm not worried about the next day. I'm not worried about what I did yesterday. Thus, reducing my levels of stress.
That's good.
So then keeping me healthy, happy, something I think we can all put a little more effort and time and energy into doing because in the end, it's going to help you lead a good life.
And live longer live healthier, happier, all the good stuff.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think about stress. Are you someone who stresses out a lot? Are you someone who does not? What do you do to get rid of that stress? Subscribe to the channel, like this video.
Yep, but that's it. We'll see you
on the next step.